What's up, Kristal? It's your boy, Alec. All right, we're gonna jump into some more theory stuff today. Hopefully you don't mind, but mostly because we were talking about this last time, and that was like a totally new thing. It was relative minor scales, and also just minor scales in general are new. So we're gonna go over those a bunch right here. Actually, maybe I'll just start with the piano stuff, right? So, as we learned recently-ish, to make a scale, like a major scale, let's say the C major scale, right? To make that into natural minor, we gotta lower the third, sixth, and seventh notes, right? That's kind of a vibe, actually. But anyway, so that would be, in the case of C, right, that would be E, A, and B. And when I say lower, I of course mean move down a half step. So now we would end up with, to get C natural minor, right, we got C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and C. Right? So this might be a scale you would use if you wrote a song in a minor key, for example. Okay, we also learned that every major scale shares the same notes as another natural minor scale. So that's the relative major and the relative minor. So we printed out that circle of fifths for that reason. But to kind of go over this real quick, let's say, actually C minor is a bad example. I'm going to use C major here for a sec, right? So all the white keys, that's the major scale. So the question is, what's the relative minor? And sort of the quick way to do that is you just start on C in this case, right, with the C scale, and you just go down two notes in the scale. And there we go, A minor. A minor and C major have the same key signature, i.e. no sharps or flats in this case, right? And always by default, if you just follow the key signature and play a scale starting on, on the relative minor, A in this case, you'll just end up with natural minor. That's sort of what natural minor is, almost by definition. As in, we don't have to add any sharps or any additional sharps or flats to get the scale, right? It's natural, sort of occurs naturally. So again, I'm gonna say that one more time. So C major, the key signature for that is 0 sharps and 0 flats. So if you see 0 sharps and 0 flats, a song is either in C major or it could be in the minor scale that also has no sharps or flats. And to get there, we're just gonna go down two notes from C. So, 1, 2, and there we go, A. There's our A natural minor scale. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. But you can do this with other ones as well. So maybe D major, which has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Right. D major, if we want to figure out what minor key has 2 sharps, right, we're just going to go down 2 notes in the scale from D. So 1, 2, and there we go, B. So B minor. And so B natural minor is the scale we get if we play, basically, if we play a D major scale just starting on B, right? That's almost how you can think of it. So there we go. All right. So let's get some practice now doing this with key signatures, because that's pretty important. For when you learn a new song, you always want to know what key you're in and what scale you should be playing. And you want to be able to identify that based on the key signature. So let's see here. We learned last time, I'll kind of go over it real quick. So we learned last time that for keys with sharps in the key signature, we just go up a half step from the last sharp, and that'll tell us what major key we're in. So if this were major keys, right, let me make sure we're zoomed in. But this one, number 2, if this were a major key, right, the last word, we got a bass clef there. So this is G sharp. A half step up from G sharp is A. So this would be A major, basically. Well, let's do like a couple more. This one, 2 sharps. We did just talk about that, but either way, right, we got the last sharp here is C sharp. If we go up a half step from that, we get D, basically. So D major. And let's do one more. Here's a weird one. Okay, this has 6 sharps, it looks like. The last sharp is E sharp, because we're in treble clef now. So the last sharp is E sharp, which I guess I should actually locate on a piano. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oops. Okay. But anyway, so we got E right here, right? So this is E sharp, which looks an awful lot like F. But anyway, that's the last sharp. So if we go up a half step from there, we get F sharp. So we're in the key of F sharp major. Also, this page just flew 10,000 meters as it fell from my lap. Okay, got it back. All right, so that would mean that the answer to this one, you know, if we're talking major keys, would be F sharp major there. So that's sharps. Let's go ahead and do the sharps first for minor. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use the relative minor relationship that we know about, right? Where we go down 2 notes in the major scale to get to the relative minor. We're gonna combine that with our knowledge of how to figure out the major scale from the key signature. So let's start with an easy-ish one. Well, actually, let's start with number 6 because we kind of already did that one. So number 6, 2 sharps. The last sharp is C sharp. A half step up from C sharp is D. So this could be D major or something minor. And this says, you know, specify the minor key for each given signature. So it can't be D major, it's gonna be something minor. So we just have to think if we go down 2 notes in the D scale, maybe I can actually keep the keys open, that'd be helpful. But if we go down 2 notes in the D scale from D, that'll give us our natural minor. So here's D. Man, that's really zoomed in. But anyway, here's D, right? And we can just go down to B. So that would be B minor. So we can write in B and then lowercase m for minor. And there we go. All right, let's do another one. Number 3, we got just 1 sharp. So the last sharp is this one. That's an F sharp there, because remember we're in bass clef. So F sharp is the last sharp there. So if we go up a half step from that, then it's G. So this is the key signature for G major. Now to find the relative minor, again, we're gonna go down a couple notes from there. So 1 and 2, within the scale, of course, right? So E minor. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. I know it's like a little weird, but that's why we're gonna do a bunch of these examples so you can see how it works a bunch of times in a bunch of different ways. Okay, number 2. We got 3 sharps. Last sharp is G sharp. So if we find a G sharp on the piano, right, and we go up a half step, sorry, my brain was buffering there for a second. If we go up a half step from the last sharp, which is G sharp, we get to A. So this could be the key signature for A major. But of course, we're finding the minor one. So what's the minor key that also has that key signature? Well, we're just gonna find the relative minor of A major. So we go down 2 notes in the A scale. And there we go, F sharp minor for this one. That's kind of a cool chord. Anyway, all right. There we go. We'll save the harder ones for later. Let's do number 8 first. So number 8, we got 4 sharps, F, C, G, D. The last sharp is D sharp there. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to try to work this out on your own for the last ones, I definitely recommend doing that, like before I kind of spoil the answer, now that you've seen me do it a few times. So that could be a good thing to do. But anyway, so the last sharp here is D sharp. So if we find a D sharp, and we go up a half step, oh great, E major. So E major is the one that has 4 sharps. But what about the minor key that's got 4 sharps? Well, we're gonna go find the relative minor of E. So we're gonna go down 2 notes to C sharp minor. So this could be C sharp minor. And sure enough, right, if you play an E scale, and then just use those same notes, but just start on C sharp, you will play the C sharp natural minor scale. All right. So here come the more difficult ones. We'll go to number 12 next. So again, if you want to try these before I spoil it, you know, definitely pause here, give this a try. or just pause after I've said enough information that you think you can get the rest on your own. But anyway, number 12, we got 5 sharps, F, C, G, D, A. So the last sharp is this one, A sharp, right? Because we're back in treble clef. So A sharp, here's A sharp. And if we go up a half step from there, there is our B, right? So this is B major or something minor, right? So again, we're gonna go down 2 notes in the B scale from here to find our relative minor. And there we go, G sharp minor. Now it's very important that I'm saying G sharp minor and not A flat minor, because you might say, well, this could be either. But I mean, there is an A flat minor, but this is not the key signature for it. There actually are different key signatures for, say, for example, G flat major and F sharp major. Even though they're the same keys and everything, if it's a sharp key signature, right, that means that the notes are either natural or sharp, right? So this would never be A flat if it's a sharp key signature. It would always be G sharp to match the sharps here. So just keep that in mind as we do this. All right, G sharp minor there. We got 2 more sharp ones before we do the flat ones. So, you know what, let's go out of order a little bit. We'll go to number 7. That has all 7 sharps and is therefore illegal and terrible. But it's F, C, G, D, A, E. Wait, is that right? No, B, yeah, all 7. So F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So this one's a doozy. Okay, right, we're in bass clef here, right? So B is the last sharp. So here's B. Oh wait, you can barely see that. I'll just move my finger up. Anyway, here's B, right? So this is B sharp. Looks and sounds an awful lot like C. But anyway, here's B sharp. So if we go up a half step from that, we get to C sharp. So that's for the major key, right? C sharp major. So to go down, or to find the relative minor, we got to go down 2 notes from here. So C sharp major shares a key signature with 1, 2, A sharp minor. Again, not B flat minor. Usually I would call this B flat. Like, I'm more used to calling this B flat than A sharp, but in this case it has to be A sharp because the key signature has sharps in it. So A sharp minor for that one. A very rare key indeed, because most people, when they write a piece, will write it in B flat minor, because that only has 5 flats as opposed to 7 sharps. So anyway, A sharp minor. It's also important that I'm running a lowercase m after all these, just to distinguish between major, which is just the letter itself, and then minor, which is the letter plus a lowercase m. So there we go. All right, number 11 is actually going to be a little easier, although equally weird. So 6 sharps for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last sharp is E sharp. So here's E sharp, right? Because we got E right here, so here's E sharp, this white note here, which is an awful lot like F. But anyway, so we're going to go up a half step from there to F sharp. So this would be F sharp major, or to find the relative minor, we could go down 2 notes in the scale. And there we go. Not E flat, but of course D sharp, because it's a sharp key signature. So using a piano as a desk is a great idea. Okay, so D sharp minor for that one. But yeah, all this really means is that, yeah, you can take the major scale that you may already know, right? Like, I don't know if we've gone over this one before, but like C sharp minor, right, that's E major. So yeah, same key signature, same sharps. You can even sort of think of it as like, okay, I'm gonna play an E scale, right? But I'm gonna start on C sharp right here. So I'll just do 2 notes first, and then I'll just play an E major scale, right? So it's like dum dum. You can, that's sort of how I think about these things sometimes, like dum bum, and then the E scale, right? Or you could stop at the C sharp. But in any case, that's kind of what's going on there. Same exact notes. So I mean, they in a very real way, E major and C sharp minor are the same scale. Like we talk about scales starting on a note, but that doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like, you know, if you look at a painting, you see that it's got, oh, I don't know, red, orange, and green or something, right? If someone said that that painting had orange, green, and red, you wouldn't correct them and go, no, it has red, orange, and green, right? The order doesn't matter. It's just you're just paint colors, right? Same thing with the piano, right? It's just notes. There's no real order that they go in. So E major and C sharp minor they really are the same scale, right? They're the same color palette because they've got the same colors. Okay, so that's the sharps right there. That's the sharps. It is now time for the flats. Also, I'm gonna write your name on here. I don't know why, the 12 years of schooling really got to me. You gotta have a name. Okay, so moving on to the flats. As a reminder, for major keys, the flats are a little easier. It's just the second to last flat is the key that you're in. So, for example, number 4, the second to last flat is E flat. So we're in the key of E flat, and that's it, right? That's how you do it for major keys. That's it. Let's do one more, right? Like number 1, we got B, E, A, D. So the second to last flat is A flat, and that is the key that we're in. A flat, that easy. So we're gonna do that and then apply the same thing we've been doing, right? Go down a couple notes in the scale to get to the relative minor. Or you could think of it, it's like the 6th note of the scale is the relative minor, right? Because let's say I start on C. If I go down 2 notes, that's A. But I could also go up 6, right? Or not up 6, but I could go to the 6th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So like it could be A minor. Either way. But anyway. All right, so let's do this. We said for number 1. Oh, by the way, the order of flats. Let me write this in. You might already have this memorized because we talked about it before, but if you don't want to actually like figure out exactly which notes all the sharps and flats are on, you can use the order of flats. Because the nice thing is that the key signature with 4 flats is just the key signature with 3, but then with another one. In other words, you never lose flats, you only gain them as you get to more and more flats in the key signature. So like if these 3 are B, E, and A, which they are, then you know for sure that this one starts with B, E, and A, and then it just adds another one. It's never gonna be like B, E, A for this one, and then like B, C, G or something for that. It's always gonna go in that same order. You never lose any, you just keep adding, you keep appending one on as you gain another flat. So order of flats is Beadgesif, BEADGCF. Hold on, you can barely see that. But when I see you in person, I'll hand you this as well. But order of flats, BEADGCF. You can remember bead. Bead is easy to remember for me for some reason. I mean, it's a word, obviously, so that's why. But GCF, greatest common factor, no idea. But whatever you can do to remember this, right? Beadgesif is just such a hilarious word that honestly works for me, just Beadgesif. Plus, I've just said BEADGCF enough times to have it memorized. And then the order of sharps. Oh my God, my handwriting is so bad. I mean, it usually is, but trying to write on a piano is even worse. Okay, order of sharps is this, but backwards. It's F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And again, I mean, yeah, I've heard people say like fat cats go down alleys eating burritos, but the chances that you're gonna remember what that applies to are so slim. It makes more sense to remember this by just doing exercises like this, honestly. So maybe I'll give you this, like a fresh sheet as well, so that you can try it on your own from scratch at home. But yeah, all right. So basically what that means is for this key signature, I don't really need to read what all of these notes are because I know it's bead, B-E-A-D. It's 4 flats. It has to be these 4 flats specifically. So the second to last one would be A flat there. So we're in the key of A flat major. All right. Here's an A flat. So we're gonna go down 2 notes in the scale. So F. So F minor for this one. So again, pause before I give away the answer if you want to try these on your own. or if you just want to get some more exposure to this process, leave it playing, of course. But we're going to go on to number 4 now. We got 3 flats, B, E, A. The last one, or sorry, second to last one is E flat. So that's E flat major right there. So here's an E flat. We're going to go down 2 notes in the E flat major scale. So we got, there we go, C minor, right? Which we actually talked about how C minor has, remember I played those and I said, oh yeah, that's a vibe. But yeah, E, A, B, right? Or in the order of flats, it would be B, E, A. But either way, these 3 flats here. So we're gonna go C minor for that one. Okay. Man, music theory is crazy. Okay, number 5. This is the one that there's an exception to because there's only 1 flat. There is no second to last flat. So let's get that one at the end, but you might already know what that one is for like the major key anyway. All right, number 9. Make sure you can actually see these. Number 9, we got 2 flats, B flat and E flat. Second to last flat is this one, B flat. Oh yeah, important to note, of course, that the flats are the same for treble and bass, right? So you don't have to consider the clef if you're just using the order of flats. Like this will definitely be B and E, right? And this is B and E. But anyway, B flat, E flat. Second to last flat is B flat. Here's our B flat. We're gonna go down 2 notes from there in the scale. So that would be G minor, right? So sure enough, right, there's our G minor, G natural minor scale. Now we're never in the key of G natural minor, we're always just in the key of G minor. You can certainly use different scales with, if you write a piece in the key of G minor, you can use whatever minor scale you want, but the key signature will still be this, no matter what. It's really less of a convenience for the flats, right? It's more of just a signal, someone telling you that you're in G minor. So it's really more about communicating the intent of the composer. I mean, it's also useful, right? Because then you don't have to write a B flat and E flat every single time you play one of those keys, which you're likely to play because you're in the key of G minor. But anyway, but I guess what I'm saying is by the time you've done enough songs with these key signatures and stuff, you'll see one like this one and you'll just know that that's F sharp minor or A major because you're just used to seeing 3 for that, right? And etc. The ones that I don't know super well are like the ones with 6 or 7 flats or sharps. Those ones are so rare. Like this one I would have to figure out. I mean, I know that this one is C flat major, but only because of the rule, right? The second to last flat thing. It's not obvious to me right away. But anyway, okay. Number 10. Here we go. Oh, I don't even know if you can see what I was pointing at. My bad. This one, this one's got 7 flats. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I keep this up here. So, number 10, we got 5 flats here, B, E, A, D, G. The second one is D flat. So we are definitely either in the key of D flat major or something minor. So let's figure out that something minor. Here's a D flat that you can actually see. So we're gonna go down 2 notes in that scale. And there's B flat minor. Now, something has occurred to me, which is, what if you don't really know the scale yet, but you still want to figure out this stuff, right? Because like I obviously, like I know the scale already, so it's easy enough for me to just play it. But what if you don't, right? What if one that you're not familiar with yet? So what you can remember is, well, you'll have to keep in mind the flats and everything, but as long as you're using every letter once and you're observing the key signature, then you are playing the right scale. I'll show you what I mean. So let's say you didn't know what the D flat scale was, but you were trying to figure out the relative minor for D flat, right? So you might go, okay, well, here's D flat. I'm going to go down 2 notes in what I think the scale is. Okay, great, B minor. But we broke a rule there. We didn't actually follow the key signature, which has a B flat in it, right? So if it's got a B flat, it definitely does not have a B because we can only use every letter once. So that B flat is instead of B natural, right? We cannot have a B natural and a B flat in the same scale. So we know right away that that's not going to be it. So we can try that again, right? D flat, C, And it can't be B flat, or sorry, it can't be B natural. It has to be B flat because that's in the key signature. So B flat. So there we go. So the key signature will only tell you which black notes to use, basically, right? I mean, sometimes it's a white note, but it'll basically tell you which black notes to use. But you can fill in the white notes by just making sure you're only using every letter once, right? So if you know there's a D flat and a B flat, and then you're trying to figure out, well, which white note am I supposed to use here? Well, it can't be B, right? Because we already used B for B flat. So the only option is C. That was the only letter we haven't used in between here. So it has to be this one. So that's kind of the system you can use here. Okay. C sharp minor, G minor, etc. Okay. Moving on to number 13. We got, oh gosh, how many? 7 flats. So that's the maximum number of flats. 7 flats. So we're at the end of Beadgesuch right there. So the second to last flat, again, you could look here or you could even look here, is going to be C flat. So we're in the key of C flat major there, very unfortunately. Again, this is pretty rare because if you're going to play a song in this key, you're probably going to want to use B, which is just 5 sharps instead of 7 flats. But 7 flats, key of C flat major. So this one's a little tricky, but I'll show you what we can do for this one. So if we're in the key of C flat, right, then we got to go down 2 notes in that scale. So it's going to be, it's not going to be B. Oh, well, here's the good news, right? There's no double flats in any key signature. So if we want to figure out what the next note down is, it's certainly not this one. Because that would be, again, we can only use every letter once. Here's C flat, we already used C. So the next one has to be, as we're going down, has to be B something. And it can't be B double flat, right? That's not allowed in key signatures. So it's just gonna be B flat. So we got C flat, B flat. I mean, the other way you can think of this for this one is everything's flat, right? Everything has 1 flat. So C flat, okay, now C is used up. Now for B, well, that one's flat too, so B flat. Now for the next one down, again, A is also going to be flat, right? Every single note is flat. So A flat, there we go. C flat, B flat, A flat. So we're in the key of A flat minor right there. Again, more likely that you're gonna run into G sharp minor, actually, which is right here. So these are sort of the same, right? Because it's like the same scale, but anyway. There's lots of very good reasons that they do things like A flat minor, but all right, A flat minor, there we go. So G sharp minor, A flat minor. All right, we only have 2 left. Exciting stuff. So, and I swear that was not sarcasm. I actually find this very exciting. Okay, we got 6 flats here. Second to last one, right? You can use this if you really want, right? B, E, A, D, G, C. So the second to last one is G flat. But you can also just check which line it's on in this case, or space. This one's a line. So G flat major, that's the key signature for the major part, right? G flat major. So we gotta go down 2 notes in the scale from there, right? So again, we gotta follow the key signature and also only use every letter once. So we can go down, right? Like, let's say you're not sure if it's this one or not. Well, there is a G flat in this key signature. There's also an E flat. So G and E are already used up. So it has to be F something. And it can't be F flat because F flat is not one of the flats here. So it has to just be F natural, right? So again, G flat, you're using every letter once. G flat, go down to F something. It's got to be F natural. Otherwise it'd be in the key signature. And then finally, E flat. Man, these flat ones are kind of hard. I'm not going to lie. I thought these would be easier, but they're not. Okay. E flat minor. All right. Now for the one exception, because there is no second to last flat here. This one you're just going to have to remember is F major. So we've gone over that one before though, right? All right, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, or C, D, E, right? And then we can just kind of finish with F again at the top. So same kind of thing. This is finally an easy one, right? Here's F. Now, what I was saying about only using every letter once and following the key signature is going to make a lot more sense with something like this one, where there's hardly any flats, right? So F, right, it's like, oh, well, do we go down here? No, we do not, right? Otherwise, if we did, that would be in the key signature. And we only have B flat in the key signature. So, and we're using every letter once, so here's F, and then it's either E or E flat, but it's certainly not E flat, because the only flat was B flat, right? So F, E, and then again, we've already used E, so we can't use E flat, and this can't be D sharp, right? It's gotta be D something, and it can't be this one. And it's definitely not gonna be D flat, because that's not in the key signature, so, you know, it's pretty much that easy. So D minor for that one. And there we go. So hopefully that made some sense. There's all, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, there's all 14 key signatures right there. 7 sharps and 7 flats. Is that right? Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, wow, they went through every single one. So that's as bad as it gets, pretty much, until you get to some 20th century music, and then they start doing weird key signatures to be funny and cute. But anyway, this is like 99.9% of all music right here is going to use one of these. All right, there we go. That's it for today. We'll catch up next time, and have a great week.